I was 7 years old when I found the cream under my grandmother's drawer. Before I could even read the label, she snatched it from my hands like I discovered state secrets. "That's not for you," she said, her voice sharp in a way it never was when she was sneaking me extra biscuits or letting me stay up past bedtime. But her eyes told a different story. They said, "I'm protecting you from what I couldn't protect myself from." That cream was called Ambi Fade Cream. Sounds innocent enough, right? Like it's supposed to fade your jeans or maybe a stubborn stain. Except the stain my grandmother was trying to fade was her own skin. She'd been using it for decades, every single night, after everyone went to bed. She'd lock the bathroom door and apply it like clockwork. My mother told me years later that she could always smell it, that distinct chemical scent that clung to grandma's pillowcases and nightgowns. Now here's where people get uncomfortable, because we want to make this simple. We want grandma to be a victim of colonialism, brainwashed by European beauty standards, someone to pity, or we want her to be a villain, self-hating, perpetuating colorism. But my grandmother was neither. She was a strategist. See, she grew up in a world where she watched lighter-skinned women in her own community get chosen first for jobs, get treated better in stores, get their children into better schools. She watched dark-skinned women scrub floors while their lighter cousins sat behind desks. And she made a calculation, not because she hated herself, but because she loved us. Here's what nobody wants to admit. She wasn't even wrong. Studies done as recently as 2020 show that lighter-skinned black people still face measurably less discrimination in hiring. They earn higher wages for the same work. They receive shorter prison sentences for identical crimes. They're perceived as more trustworthy, more intelligent, more attractive. My grandmother wasn't suffering from low self-esteem. She was reading the room. And the room had been saying the same thing for 400 years. The global skin lightening industry today, $8.6 billion. With a B, that's bigger than the entire film industry of most countries. Apparently, our collective insecurity is more profitable than entertainment. And before anyone gets on their high horse about loving yourself and natural beauty, let me remind you that we live in a world where a Kardashian can tan themselves into another ethnicity for aesthetics, while simultaneously women in Lagos, Accra, Kingston, and Mumbai are bleaching themselves lighter. We're all just trying to be anything other than what we are. It's almost funny, almost. My mother never used the cream. She made damn sure I never did either. But here's the thing that breaks me. She understood why grandma did it. Because sometimes love looks like shame. Sometimes protection looks like rejection. And sometimes the kindest thing a grandmother can do is hide the weapons she used to survive, hoping her granddaughter won't need them. My grandmother died in 2008. I was going through her things when I found them. Not just one tube of Ambi, 17, hidden in different places, under the bathroom sink, in her closet behind the shoe boxes, in the drawer of her nightstand, 17 tubes, like ammunition stockpiled for a war that never ended. She never got to see herself in a photograph with her real skin tone. Every single picture we have, she's 2 shades lighter than she actually was. It's like we have a family album full of a woman who never technically existed. The cruel part? She thought she was doing it out of love. She genuinely believed that by lightening her skin, she was making life easier for her children, for me, that her sacrifice would somehow trickle down as opportunity. And you know what? In her time, in her context, she might have been right. That's what makes this so complicated. That's what makes me so angry. Because colonialism didn't end when the flags came down. It just opened a cosmetics aisle. It rebranded. It went from explicit policy to implicit preference, from law to lotion. The British left Africa, but they left the mirror behind, and that mirror is still lying. I never used the cream, but I'll never forget the look in her eyes when she hid it from me that day. It wasn't shame exactly. It was something more complicated than that. It was the look of someone who had spent her entire life playing a rigged game, trying desperately to pass the cheat codes to the next generation, only to realize too late that the real win was refusing to play at all.